You know that feeling, right? You're scrolling through review after review, just looking for that one person you can trust to help you decide. But what if that trusted voice is just reading from a script? Let's get into the secret deals that are turning honest recommendations into hitting ads.
Seriously, think about the last time you bought something because a blogger absolutely raved about it. Maybe it was a new phone, some miracle skincare product, whatever. Did you ever get that little tiny feeling in the back of your mind asking, is this for real?
Well, it turns out you're not just being paranoid. That little voice is onto something. We're going to pull back the curtain, all based on some really eye-opening research into the blogosphere in Israel to see just how deep the connection between brands and bloggers really goes. But to really understand what's happening today, we've got to go back in time. Back to the good old days, before influencer was a job you could put on your tax return. So picture it. It's the early 2000s. Platforms like Israblog are popping up, giving pretty much anyone a voice. But the big PR firms and the corporate world, they weren't really paying attention. They saw bloggers as unprofessional, just hobbyists. And that original independent spirit? Well, there's still a whole community out there fighting to keep it alive today. Yeah, see, these folks weren't what we'd call influencers. The researchers have a much better term, micro-opinion leaders. Their whole goal wasn't to sell you something. It was to share what they were thinking, give some support, and maybe offer a new way of looking at things. It was all about being real. But then, things started to shift. The professional world started to realize just how much power was hiding in these little online communities. And well, that's when everything changed. Okay, so flash forward to 2010. There's a big economic crisis. Traditional media is in trouble, and PR agencies are scrambling to find new places to get their messages out. And where do they land? The blogosphere. All of a sudden, those amateurs were looking like a pretty valuable resource. And hey, for the bloggers, this was a massive deal. The study found that working with PR was, quote, rewarding both financially and socially. Suddenly, your hobby wasn't just getting you comments, it was getting you paid. It was getting you access. Pretty hard to say no to that. And look where this really took off. Lifestyle, cosmetics, baby products, tourism, entertainment. All the areas where we're specifically looking for what feels like a genuine personal recommendation from someone we trust. But here's the big catch. This whole new partnership had a pretty murky side. It was often built on a secret. The study says both sides were basically cooperating in concealing their relations from you, the reader. They were working together to make sure you didn't know money was involved. And what started as a few quiet deals here and there quickly turned into a full-blown system, with new business models designed to make that line between real opinion and a paid ad even blurrier. I mean, the whole game changed. The old way was simple. Bloggers just wrote what they wanted. The new way? Now you've got these huge blog hosting websites, and some of them are actually managed by PR firms, telling the bloggers what to write about. It became this whole prepaid process. Step 1, a pre-written post is just handed to a blogger. Step 2, they upload it. Step 3, it gets a huge promotional push, so it gets a ton of traffic. And get this, Step 4, if the client doesn't like it, they can just have the post taken down. So much for creative freedom. And it got even more sophisticated. The study brings up this one platform called What and So that really kind of perfected the art of the invisible ad. This is genius in a very sneaky way. To promote a new low-fat snack, they didn't ask bloggers to review it. Instead, they prompted them to write about anything that would be better if it were reduced by 1/3. The product's name is never even mentioned, but that core idea gets planted right in your head. So you might be wondering, how is this okay? Well, technically, the platform does list its brand partners, but it's on a totally separate page that you'd have to go looking for. The researchers put it perfectly. The relationship is not hidden, but is also not clearly visible. It's checking the transparency box without actually being transparent. So, after seeing all of this, you have to ask the big question. What does this all mean for us? The people actually reading these blogs and spending our money based on what they say. And here is the fundamental problem. We are conditioned to trust blogs. Research shows we see them as highly credible sources, sometimes even more credible than traditional media. We just trust that person-to-person connection. And this right here is the study's most knockout punch.
The system has gotten so good, so seamless, that we, the end consumers, literally cannot tell the difference between a paid blogger and an independent one. The line hasn't just been blurred, it's been totally erased. So, what does that leave us with? This really weird reality where the voices we trust the most might not be giving us their real opinions at all. It leaves us with a pretty heavy question for this digital world we live in. When the persuasion is hidden, who can you really trust online?